movement of 25mm to 400mm. Are you ready for this? So 25 to 400mm. It's a really smooth zoom as well, and you obviously zoom in and out using the little rocker on the top, or indeed you can use the ring on the lens as well. I'm turning this ring to zoom in and out. I'm pretty sure you can reassign the ring as well, but during my time I haven't reassigned it, but I'm pretty sure you can reassign that to focus. Also, it's f2.8 to 4, so it's widest angle f2.8, it's longest range f4. There's also some additional function buttons on the side of the lens. These can be assigned to various things. The bottom one is really cool. The bottom one, you can actually zoom in on your subject, but if you lose the subject, you can push this bottom function button and it'll zoom back out so you can regain the composure and get the subject in the center of the frame. Then let go of that button and it zooms back into the focal range you were at, which is a really good system. So the 25 wide angle is good, really good for landscapes. The 400mm, the longest end of the lens, makes this really good for wildlife photography as well. Maybe you're doing bird photography, for example, birds in flight, superb for something like that because it's got such a long reach. Now, I'll talk to you in a short while about the video capabilities. Let's take a look inside the live chat because this is a live broadcast. Big hello to Aaron Stoy, Jay's Beers, Brandon Whalen, Ilyas and Mark Appleton. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ilyas, good morning from Morocco. I've said this before, but I find it fantastic when you let me know where you're watching from in the live chat. And that is awesome that you're watching from Morocco. Big hello to you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Back to the camera. So a really good build quality. Nice deep grip. So we've got a nice deep grip on this. Your finger falls naturally on the shutter button there. And there's also a little bit of a bump on the back, so you can got a nice sort of thumb grip as well. So it's very, very comfortable to use one-handed. We've also, of course, got tripod mount on the bottom, and also the slot for the battery and the memory card. The battery and the memory card share the same compartment. I wish that they had moved the memory card to the side. They could have quite easily have done that. It would have just been in a better position because as such, when I have my mount on for my tripod, if I want to switch out the memory card or indeed the battery, I have to take the whole mount off, which is a little bit of a shame. So that's sort of one of the negatives, and there's not many negatives, to be honest. We've also got a little flap here. So on this side we've got a flap for the USB, micro USB, and also the micro HDMI. You charge the battery in the camera. If you want to charge the battery outside the camera, you have to buy an external charger. On this side we've got a little cover, and this reveals 3.5mm microphone socket or microphone port, so we can put an external microphone in here. Very, very good indeed. Really pleased they did that. No headphone monitoring. There's no additional headphone port on here, which again at the price point is excusable, but at least we can put an external mic. Across the top we've got all of the controls, of course, for the various modes and also the various shooting modes here. So we've got modes here for program, auto, video mode, etc. And then we've got actual shooting modes here and timer modes on this dial here. Very well laid out on the top. We've got extra dials to change settings, and we've got the direct record button as well. On the back we've got the EVF, and we've also got various controls on the back here to navigate around the menu system. The touch screen allows you to also navigate around the menu system, which is really good. If I just put the menu on, you can see we've got a front facing screen, so fully articulating screen, and the menu system, as I said, you can navigate that with the buttons, or indeed you can use the touch screen. You can also touch to focus, so when you're in video mode, let me just show you this. So when you're in video mode, you can actually touch the screen to focus on your subject. So touch sensitive for both focusing and also for navigating around the menus. Now when it comes to video features, this is really good, very, very good indeed. I've tested this actually on my live broadcast, so similar to what you're watching now. At the moment I'm using my Sony AX53 to do the live broadcast. Over the last week I've done a dedicated video to showing you the live streaming capabilities of this and the video capabilities. But if you watch back my videos over the last week, so any video during the last week, all done with the Panasonic FZ1000 II. So that gives you a good indication of the quality of the sensor and the quality of the optics. Indeed, because this is a 1-inch sensor, and because I light my editing room with studio lights, I've even had to use exposure compensation on this to dial it down 1 notch. Otherwise it would be overexposed. That's how much light this gathers in comparison to the Sony AX53, where I have to dial it up 2 notches of exposure compensation to get the right amount of brightness into the frame or into the video that you're watching. When you're not using this for live streaming, capturing normal video, 4K or UHD resolution, up to 30 frames per second, no 60 frames per second, but 30 is plenty. 100 megabits per second as well on the bit rate, top notch, crispy, quality, 4K or UHD video. The mic pickups on the top, just in front of the hot shoe, very, very good as well. So if you don't want to use an external mic, you're still going to get good pickup of audio there. But I would say that although it doesn't pick up the noise of the autofocus too much from the built-in microphones, if you're zooming in and out, you will pick up the zoom noise of the lens during recording video. So I would probably use an external mic pretty much all the time, but it's not essential for just a casual piece of footage you're going to capture. Also, I get a lot of questions as to how do I live broadcast with these cameras. It's all done via the HDMI output, in this case a micro HDMI on the side of the camera there. And this doesn't plug direct into my computer. You do need an additional piece of equipment. So when you're looking to choose a camera for doing live broadcasts, there are a couple of essential things. One is obviously an HDMI output of some sorts. Two, actually there's 3 things. Two is that it's a clean HDMI output. So you don't want any of the little symbols about recording time, remaining battery, etc. You don't want those overlaid on your broadcast. Otherwise, when you're watching this video back, it will be distracting to have all of those overlays. So you need to have a clean HDMI output, or at least be able to turn off those symbols when you're using the HDMI output. And then you need some additional equipment to convert that HDMI into something your computer can use. And you can do that with a capture card or an external capture box, or in my case I use the Elgato Camlink. Now the Elgato Camlink, actually I can show you one, I've got an extra one here. The Elgato Camlink is one of these. This section here, this plugs in via USB to your computer. On the opposing end there's an HDMI socket, and then I plug my HDMI cable in here, and then the other end is micro HDMI that goes into the camera, and then this allows you with your streaming software to actually broadcast. So that's what I use to get the video into the computer. So anyway, that is pretty much it for my discussion about the video capabilities. I'll come on to my final opinion in a short while. I just want to take a quick look inside the live chat. We've got Brandon Whalen saying looks pretty beefy. It is a really decent camera. Brandon is watching from California. Awesome, that is excellent. It must be very, very late on in the day, or very early morning where you are, so thank you very much for tuning in. And Mark Appleton seems like a worldwide audience. I really love the fact that pretty much anyone can watch from anywhere in the world. I really do love that about YouTube. So anyway, back to the Panasonic FZ1000 II. Who's it for, and can I recommend it? Well, think about this. A lot of people over the years say to me, you know, what should I use for doing my YouTube videos, or what's a good camera for general use? And I want a camera where I can change lenses, for example. You can buy a micro four thirds camera, or maybe an interchangeable lens camera, something like a compact system camera where you can swap out the lenses. I've done that many times. Now don't forget, I produce a lot of video. I hardly ever swap out lenses. If I buy an interchangeable lens camera, I normally use a good quality zoom lens, which has got a range from say 12 to 40 millimeters on the Olympus, or 12 to 35 millimeters on the Panasonic, or similar on another brand. And I put that lens on and it stays on the camera. And I think many people are the same, not everyone. Some people do swap out lenses. They put prime lenses on and they swap lenses depending upon what they're using their camera for. But I think a big majority of people buy a camera and think that they're going to have a nice collection of lenses and they're going to take them on every outing with them, and they're going to stand there and they're going to swap the lens out and take this particular photo or piece of video, and then they're going to stop again and swap the lens. In reality check here, a lot of the time that doesn't happen. So having a fixed lens camera is, I think, a really good choice. You don't have to worry about dust getting on the sensor. It's all sealed in the factory and you can get some really good optics. This is a fantastic lens on here. Really very good lens. So do bear that in mind. Are you really going to swap lenses out? Think about that when you're choosing your next camera. And then think about whether you want a compact camera, something like a Canon G7X Mark II, or a Sony RX, is it the RX100, which is up to the Mark 5 or 6 now, or a Panasonic Lumix, I think it's the LX15 or LX100. Think about whether you want a compact camera, very small, slip it in your pocket, or think about whether you want something that's got a much more versatile lens, 25mm to 400mm zoom range on here, all in a really good ergonomic body with a 1-inch sensor. Then maybe a bridge camera is the right choice for you. And this is built very well and I can certainly recommend it. One thing just to touch on that you must bear in mind, when you're taking photos, you've got that 25mm on the wide angle up to 400. When you're shooting 1080 video, you've got a very similar focal length. When you're shooting in UHD or 4K resolution, you do have a crop factor. I think it's about 1.4 times crop factor, so it does zoom in a little bit when you switch to 4K. When I use this for live broadcasting, I switch it to 1080. Just do bear that in mind. Anyway, let's have one last look inside the live chat. Aaron Stoy from West Sussex, thanks for tuning in, Aaron. Hope the weather's better where you are than it is here. Vladi Kostek, I hope I pronounced that properly. How is the 120 frames per second slow motion I saw on the Mark 1? It could be a bit grainy under certain conditions. To be honest, completely honest here, I have not tested that at all. So I couldn't say, although I would expect it to be a little bit better than the previous generation. And when you're recording slow motion, you've got to throw a lot of light on the subject and that'll get rid of the grain. 666 JG not, so I agree with you about not swapping lenses. On my Canon 7D Mark II, I think I've only ever had my 100 to 400 L lens on it, and I've had the camera over 2 years. There you go. So 666 JG Knots has got a really good camera there, the Canon 7D Mark II, and pretty much had one lens on it from when it was purchased to today in 2 years. So a good case point for possibly a bridge camera being a great choice. So that is my review of the Panasonic FZ1000 Mark II. If you're looking for a really good versatile camera that's got a great lens and really good capabilities, both photo and video capabilities, then I can highly recommend it. Please do check out those links down in the video description. Hit like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're not already, and if you want to take part in the discussion down in the comment section, please do leave me some comments down below. Thanks for watching everyone. I'll see you in another video very soon.